The Science of Getting Rich.
Hello. Let's get into another chapter of our course, The Science of Getting Rich. I believe that by now, something must already be happening inside of you, as this study is over a century old and has been proven to change the lives of thousands of people around the world. This work was published in 1910, and since then has been transforming the way of thinking of practically everyone who is committed to following the teachings contained within it. The author has mentioned several times the great positive impact his work has had on the financial lives of his entire audience. So, I want to ask you, are you already feeling something different inside? Have the explanations given so far started to make sense in your life? Have you started to notice something different? In the book, the author always mentions that you have to do things in a certain way, and you can see this in your daily life. When you go out to lunch at a restaurant, or when you enter a store to make a purchase, you may notice that there are often two establishments that are practically identical, yet one thrives while the other often goes bankrupt. Have you ever stopped to think about why that happens? The restaurants might serve the same type of food, cater to the same crowd, and the price might be virtually the same. But you'll notice that one of them is doing better than the other. Notice the difference in the treatment you receive. Notice how the food is served, the decor, the ambiance, and the way you were treated. You'll probably realize that the restaurant where you received better service is the one that's doing better, the one that's selling more. In other words, the cause of its prosperity is the way it treats its customers. The cause of it doing better is the way it treats people and its own business. So, this is a matter of cause. The cause that allows it to get more customers is that the customers feel much better about the way they are treated in that restaurant. This means that this is the cause of its success. And if you focus on doing things in a certain way, it is impossible for you not to get rich. In this chapter, the author will discuss whether opportunity can be monopolized. Can it? Can some people take control of all the wealth in a way that leaves no more opportunities or resources for us to become rich? Could that happen? Is money limited to a small number of people? The answer to all these questions is no. That's a lie. That doesn't exist. Wealth will come from within you. Today, more than ever, we see people from so many different social classes getting rich. The rise of the internet has allowed many ordinary people to make fortunes online. Never before have there been as many opportunities to get rich as there are in these times. Wealth in your life will begin inside of you. You will plant wealth in the universe. You will plant wealth in your life. It doesn't matter if you're an employee, a worker, or the owner of the company. Today, you can become very rich with the knowledge we are giving you here. By putting into practice everything you are learning, you can become very rich. And you know why? Our universe is a living being, always moving and expanding. In this chapter about whether opportunity is monopolized, the author begins to talk about the formless substance, this infinite universe that is always in motion, this creative force. However, there still isn't enough explanation for us to fully comprehend it. But in this course, we will explain how you can learn to relate to this formless substance. When the author wrote this book, nothing was known about the workings of the universe. But today we know that it is in motion, expanding. Science has already proven that it is a living organism. But the author, even in that remote era, after years of study, concluded that this formless substance existed. The formless substance is what is known today as ether, as Einstein himself called it. But we can also call the formless substance the creative matrix, because this force is what brings all things into being. This creative matrix is the natural desire of the universe to grow, to create. It is God's will to create. And this force is the way that God or the universe uses to make all things. The formless substance is a substance without form. However, it takes the form of the thought that is impressed upon it. The information I am giving you here has been proven and confirmed through many studies over time. Scientists know that everything is in motion, that this energy exists, that the universe is always creating new forms and expanding. But of course, they don't believe that all of this is moved and can be accessed through constructive thought. But today, you can know that yes, the creative matrix can be accessed through your thoughts, through imagination, through constructive and conscious thought. You are privileged to know this information. There is a substance in the universe, and it captures your thoughts, and everything you think of can be created through this force. That's why there are people who have the ability to create things. Reflect deeply. Look around you. Look at everything that has been created to this day. The equipment you use daily. The theories of great physicists being proven, which started only in their minds and imagination. All the technology available today. All of this only exists because it started in someone's mind. Someone used their imagination to see how things could be, and over time, these thoughts gave rise to everything we have physical access to today. There is a formless substance. There is a substance in the universe that gives form to things and offers us raw materials for everything, and this raw material will never be exhausted. Notice that whenever a fuel source is threatened with depletion, a new form of fuel always appears. An alternative to oil is electric energy, and so on. We have hydraulic energy, we have solar energy. Nothing will ever be lacking, because we have the gift of creation. God gave us the gift that He possesses, the gift of imagination. Anything you can imagine, you can hold in your hands. You create your own wealth from your thoughts. And it is very important that you understand this from today onwards. You are taking this course. You are watching this video. Therefore, you must think differently from other people. Wealth is a matter of cause and effect. And the first cause of wealth is thinking in a certain way. And how do you think in this certain way? By understanding that all of your thoughts are creative. By understanding that every time you think, you are creating something in the universe. You are projecting into the universe the form of what you want to see in your life. A person is kept in poverty because they have thoughts of poverty. Perhaps they never dared to think about getting rich. They didn't even consider being rich. Maybe they were afraid of offending God by being rich. Or they didn't want to pay the price. They didn't want to make the effort, and that cannot happen to you. So from today on, you will begin to accept the idea that there is a substance that penetrates, permeates, and fills all the spaces of the universe. And this substance is the creative substance. It is the formless substance. It is the creative matrix. And you can access it through your thoughts. This substance is not distant. It is in you, inside of you, beside you. It is in every thought you have and affects the formless substance. And it is these thoughts that will cause you to create wealth in your life. So, opportunity will never be monopolized. You will always have the opportunity to get rich. It doesn't matter what field you want to work in, you can always get rich. Now, we live in a physical world where some people create their own businesses. Maybe there are some areas you cannot enter. You may not be allowed due to circumstances. Maybe you can't get into a certain business. But that doesn't mean the opportunity has been monopolized. It means that line of business is closed to you for now. But if you insist, if you look for the way, you will succeed. What the author wanted to tell us is that there is no way for anyone to stop you from being rich, except for yourself. And as he said, the working class is only kept in poverty due to a lack of knowledge of this technique, of this science. So if you are a worker today, if you belong to the poor class of society, you are only kept in this class for lack of this knowledge. But from today on, if you choose, you will only be kept in poverty if you want to be, if you don't learn to do things in a certain way. However, you won't be able to remain in that way of thinking if you follow everything the author is teaching you here in this course. Right now, I want you to reflect deeply on what has been said so far, so that you can understand and, most importantly, accept the following statement. There is a substance from which all things are made. Everything arises from this substance. And by acting in accordance with this substance, you will become rich. In the upcoming chapters, you will understand all of this in even greater detail. Now, my suggestion is that you watch these videos several times so that this can become a truth in your life. That you watch and repeat, because through repetition, all the ideas in this course can become natural to you. We are going against many things we used to believe. You are being exposed to information you never even imagined existed, that you never stopped to reflect upon. Let one thing stick in your mind. Getting rich is a matter of doing things in a certain way, and this certain way is to think according to the laws of the universe. It's thinking about wealth with the certainty that it is your act of thinking about getting rich that makes you rich. that your act of thinking about it is what is creating wealth in your life. It is very important that you keep this in mind. So, I'll see you in the next chapter.